Originally codenamed the next big thing, if you believe the hype, then LittleBigPlanet already is. Well, it's without question PlayStation 3's most significant title so far, and it's all come from this little unassuming studio just outside of London. So let's go and find out if Media Molecule is ready for the little big time. When a small group of Britsoft veterans quit Lionhead to form a new development studio in early 2006, it's fair to say that just 2.5 years later, they probably didn't expect to be right here, right now. And when we say here, we mean the creator of the biggest PlayStation 3 game of 2008, a year that's already seen new Grand Theft Auto and Metal Gear sequels. The creator of a stumpy little ragdoll that could become the face of a generation. The creator of a game that won't just define its platform, but might sell vast quantities of it. And all this from a tiny office next to a bed shop down a back alley in Guildford. We can't think of anything more little big than that. We're about to find out whether Media Molecule's debut title can live up to the greatest of expectations. Ambitiously, cheekily, hubristically, LittleBigPlanet was apparently known internally as the next big thing. So, is it?
Yes. I hope so. Yeah, don't know, it depends. It depends what kind of universe you live in, I suppose. Maybe in the video games industry, it might make a bit of a splash. Even if it only sells 10 copies, I don't really care, because I enjoy playing it, you know, and it's something that I'm really proud of.
We have a sneaking suspicion it might sell a few more than that. But that's part of the charm of Media Molecule. Its reality couldn't be further removed from the global glitz and mega hype surrounding its creation. As such, Healy seems genuinely taken aback when we suggest his studio has suddenly become one of the hottest properties on the planet.
That's quite mad to hear you say that. I don't know, is that true?
I'd say absolutely, yeah.
Really? Well, I don't know, it all goes over my head. Maybe it's good that it does, otherwise I'd freak out. I'm happy that we've managed to actually, you know, form a company and get to the stage where we've finished a game that people seem to be liking. That is, definitely wasn't easy. You know, there was a lot of, you know, our friendships were definitely tested along the way.
If all that is a bit too surreal for the team, the kickstarting of the beta last month has finally turned this pet project into an unavoidable, palpable reality.
Just pure joy and excitement. You know, people are really embracing it. And even after just one day, there was at least 1,000 creations on there. People have managed to be inspired enough to start going off and creating all kinds of things that, after just one day, you know, I can't imagine what it's going to be like after a month or something. It's quite scary, actually.
The other good news is, it hasn't broken yet.
The beta trial has held up surprisingly well, actually. I mean, I was fully expecting it just to collapse, because I've not really had much involvement with the online side of things, in terms of, you know, talking to the technical people. But I was always a bit like, oh my God, you know, Sony have never really done anything like this, so it's bound to just collapse. But that seems to be coping very well.
Although there's a full story mode, and the tools are there to create the weird and wonderful if you don't go anywhere near an internet connection, rather like Will Wright's Spore, LittleBigPlanet's success will be defined ultimately by the creativity and enthusiasm of the connected community.
Like, there's been a big craze about rocket-powered vehicles, which is kind of now seems like an obvious one, but at the time it wasn't. And you can see people feeding off each other's ideas, and suddenly rocket-powered vehicles are cropping up in everyone else's levels, but slightly refined and more ergonomic.
And there's more than one reason to put in the hours here, because you might just get a job out of it if you're good enough.
I mean, there's a few people that are starting to emerge as very cool creators, actually. I won't mention any names yet, but I've been very impressed with some of the stuff out there.
We're not allowed to film in the main studio area during our visit because the team is beavering away on top secret downloadable content. But while Media Molecule has its own plans, a lot will depend on what you lot want.
I mean, that's always been one of our big plans, is to kind of react to the community, really. And because we are, you know, a relatively small team, we're agile enough to be able to do that. I mean, there's obvious things like, you know, some costumes and sticker packs, maybe extra creative tools. Those are the things that I'm most excited about, because just with a very few simple additional tools, we expand what's possible.
LittleBigPlanet has been built with expansion in mind, but that doesn't just apply to content. If there's something that doesn't quite work, the team claims it can fix it. One of the main criticisms we have from playing the beta is with the basic controls themselves, with jumping and switching between planes an occasionally clumsy experience. And Healy agrees.
The Z movement that's an incredibly hard thing for us to get right. And no, there's times when it annoys me actually, but we can work on that if we want to and refine that. But on the whole, we sort of got to a good place with it, I think.
Looking to the future, the little studio has even bigger plans. Currently side on and in so-called 2.5D, a change of perspective is one option on the table.
It'd be great, for example, to be able to make like first-person type games using similar tools, wouldn't it? For all from the same universe. Or I don't want to say too much because I've got some very exciting ideas with that kind of stuff.
And then there's the prospect of integrating the game with other bits of kit you might have lying around the living room.
Just recently, actually, I bought the PlayStation TV thing. Play TV, that's what it's called.
Very cool.
Because I was, you know, I had to swap cables every time I wanted to watch TV on my PS3. That made me think last night that we should just integrate that into LittleBigPlanet. Why not? If you've got a Play TV box, it must be possible to watch TV from within your pod. How cool is it just to watch TV with people online with your Sackboy and vandalise a TV with stickers, for example, you know? There's lots of random ideas like that that I'd love us to explore.
And it now seems almost certain that a PSP version will arrive sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think there's definitely scope for a PSP version. I mean, we've had discussions and talked various ideas through. Nothing concrete at the moment.
Anyway, what matters right now is the game that we're going to be playing later this month. And the beauty of it is, no one's really sure how the universe of LittleBigPlanet will evolve once it's in the hands of millions of budding level designers.
When I first got into the industry, back in the 8-bit days, you know, you could turn on your Commodore 64 and it said ready. And if you knew what to type in, you could type things and create things, you know. And that, in my mind, is what is responsible for the whole industry that we've got now, you know. And for some people, it's very difficult to kind of, you know, find a way to get into the industry or even how to create things, because you can sometimes need such complicated tools, they're very expensive.
That, in a nutshell, is what Healy hopes will be the game's legacy.
Allowing people to kind of make things and feel that empowerment, really, and hopefully, you know, create new and wonderful games, even using LittleBigPlanet.
And as if giving birth to one of the biggest games on the planet wasn't enough, when we interviewed Healy, his first baby was due to arrive at any moment. So, which bundle of joy is he more excited about?
Oh, well, I have to say the baby, I suppose, don't I? I'm excited about them in different ways. I'm really excited about being able to play the game with the baby when he's old enough, if I'm still alive then. Yeah, I was tempted to call him Sackboy, but I don't think that would go down too well with the missus, really.
LittleBigPlanet releases exclusively on PlayStation 3 on October the 24th.